Okay, cameras are rolling, just called it.
We had the idea last year that since there's so many unique spaces to record drums in this studio, we should use the exact same drums, same microphone setup, and use the same beats and just record in each room. So you can kind of have as close to an objective as possible sense of what each room sounds like. At the end of the video, we'll do a little breakdown of what all mics we used. And yeah, so without further ado, these are the rooms that we normally record drums in at No Fun Club. So here's comparison one. We've got close mic and overheads. We set the appropriate level for the microphones on the preamp, but the faders on the console were at unity. No processing, no compression, no EQ. On to comparison two. This is the same as the first one, as in level set on preamp, faders at unity, no compression, no EQ, no processing. This time, we've added in the room mics. for comparison 3, we've gone back to just close mics and overheads, and the whole drum mix is going to a pair of distressors getting slammed pretty hard, which is just being mixed in lightly with the dry drum mix. So this parallel compression really brings up all the ambience and the overheads, and that's why I've chosen to mute the room mics for this. There's still no other processing. If you'd like to check it out, we've included all of the individual microphone audio files in the description of this video. Okay, so the overheads were Cole's 4038s. So this is a very popular mic to use as a drum overhead. It's a very old design. They had them at Abbey Road, and it's remained unchanged since, which is cool. It's quite a dark mic, although it's not as dark as people tend to think. The ribbons break and wear out really easily, so often they're in disrepair at studios and they just sound darker than they're supposed to. But yeah, people like that it's dark because overheads are typically quite bright, so it can counterbalance that. They are figure of 8, so they do pick up quite a bit of ambience. You'll notice in the overheads, especially in Live Room A, they get a lot of ambience. If you were to use a cardioid pattern mic in the same way, you wouldn't get as much. For the inside kick mic, there was a Beyerdynamic M88. This is an awesome mic for kick and low end sources. It's punchy and it has a lot of low end. But unfortunately, they get broken pretty often from kick drums because the capsules can't handle the SPL. It's funny because like a lot of people talk about using them for kick drums, but then I've spoken with a lot of engineers who say that it breaks them. So I don't know. We try putting these foamy things on them, but I think they can still break. So it's a kind of, they sound good, but use at your own discretion. We haven't been using them as much. For the outside kick, we have the RCA 44BX. This is an excellent old school ribbon. We're really lucky to have one here. Captures great pillowy low end. This is another one you have to be really careful with on kick drum. The SPL could destroy the ribbon. We usually would put it farther back on the kick drum. You're trying to capture the bloom and the natural low end of the kick drum, so you don't want it super close. I don't know of a mic that does the pillowy low end sub extension thing better than this. The bottom snare mic was a Beyerdynamic M201. Sort of like, I always just think of it as being like a fancy Shure 57. It is good on most things. Handles high SBL, a little bit brighter and less mid-range focused than a 57. For the top of the snare, we have this Telefunken M80SH. So it's the same as the normal M80, it's just a smaller body, but it's the same capsule. This mic is great for snare. It's sort of brighter than your average dynamic mic, but it's a dynamic mic, so it's rugged. You could hit it, it's fine. You can stick it right close, and also it has the integrated stand or a clip, so that's nice. For the toms, we have a Sony C37P, so this is the FET version of the C37. It can be an Omni or cardioid. We used it in cardioid for this. Just a super good sounding condenser. It's a little bit, the Sony C37 and the C38s, all of those mics, are a little bit on the darker side for condensers. And they're also on the lower output side for condensers, which makes them really cool for drums because you don't have to pad them as much, and they're very full-bodied, but they don't sound overly bright or harsh. So one of my favorite mics for drums, toms, overheads. It gets a lot of use from all the engineers here at the studio. Now, the kit mic that you see sort of pointed down at the kick drum was this AEA KU5A. The body is very much inspired by the RCA BK5. And the BK5 was a cool mic. It was designed to withstand very high SBL, which ribbons are not known to be good at, but they wanted something that you could have on a film set and you could be close to a gun going off and capture that sound and not be broken. I think kind of the body and the general philosophy of being able to handle high SBL is really the only thing that this mic has in common with the old RCA mic. We have one of the originals and they sound sort of similar, but they're pretty different. This one's super cardioid. And obviously it's just a great sounding ribbon, and it's something that is a ribbon mic, but you don't feel worried just like sticking it right up in a drum kit. Even with the BK5, even though it's designed for high SBL, it's just you don't necessarily always feel comfortable sticking a vintage ribbon mic right up close inside of a drum kit. So this is a great modern workhorse ribbon mic, and it's active, so it takes phantom power. Finally, you couldn't see this really at all in the video, was a pair of Neumann U67 tube mics. The ones that we have are not technically a matched pair, but they sound very similar. It was in Omni, and what I didn't remember, but what Rob, who set these up, told me when he was doing this is he likes to use them in an equilateral triangle with the kick drum 10 feet apart. So you have the kick drum and these two mics are all about 10 feet apart from each other in a triangle. Now, because of the fact that not all the rooms that we recorded in for this video actually allow that much distance, the main thing is they're supposed to be equal distance from each other. You're using them in Omni and putting them really close to the ground, so you get almost an effect like a barrier mic. And just that you just want to avoid phase problems in the low end, or like just weirdness where you're losing low end. So just put them far enough away for that. In Studio B, in the dead room parts of the video, we had the door open and these U67s were placed out in the live room. And it's a really cool effect. You can hear, it's like the close mics sound like they're in a dead room, but the room mic just opens everything up and makes it sound huge. So yeah, another excellent pair of mics that we're really lucky to have here at the studio. Amazing for all sorts of purposes, these U67s. The only other thing really to mention about the recording is for the Studio A videos, we use the Sphere console with no EQ, and in Studio B, we use the Neve console. And we thought about using like some 500 series pre's or something to have it be the exact same pre's, but we thought like, hey, you know, you're gonna be in Studio B, you're gonna use the Neve console. You're gonna be in Studio A, you can use the Sphere console. So why not show it like that? And speaking of the consoles, we actually have videos about both of them on our YouTube channel. If you want to learn more, you can check it out there. And please subscribe. Let us know if there's any more gear at the studio that you'd like us to do videos about, and we'll do our best to do them. So until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.